Hey, I'm Ryan, freshly on green, and on this week's episode, I'm going to turn this weird, tall, gray Splinter into the classic 1987 cartoon Splinter that we all know and love. So let's do it. My first step is I need to shorten his arms and legs, so I'm using a plastic cutting tool on my Dremel to cut his arm. Well, first I cut his hand off, and then I cut at the spot where I'm gonna put the hand. And using my favorite sandpaper nail file. So those are gonna get glued on, and his legs, they have joints at the knee and the foot, so I put it in hot water to soften the plastic, and now I'm doing my best to pry off the legs from the knee. But I have to warm it up again. It makes the plastic really soft, but these were extra hard because they have a lip that's hooking them in, and you pull off one side, the other side grabs back, and the ankles were even harder because it's a smaller, tighter joint. And I tried for a while, used a bunch of different tools, so I ended up cutting the foot off and then trying to just get the little piece off. So I cut more and I cut more. And I eventually figure out what I should have done from the beginning. Pliers, because my fingers are fat and hands are shaky, and it was really hard. I couldn't do it. With pliers, it was so easy. So now I put the feet back on, so he's the right height to be Splinter. And I'm just using super glue, Gorilla super glue, if you must know. And if they want to sponsor me, that would be dope. But nobody's watching. So now I mark where I'm going to cut the tail. I think I cut the tail off camera. I'm going to use, I have to cut off his beard because the Splinter I'm going for doesn't have a beard, but I couldn't cut the whole thing off, so I'm using a little saw I made to just make it look like it's hairs, just a short beard. Now I'm using spackling to fill the cracks on his tail. Yeah, it's just a little bit. And also to fix the wrist, because it was fat where I cut it and then thin at the wrist, so I just added some spackling, and it turns out to look like wrap. So I'm using a black primer here, and I'm just painting the belt because that's the only thing that's going to be black. Now I've moved on to a clear coat of matte varnish, and it's matte varnish that says it works on plastic, so that's why I use that one. And now I'm covering everywhere because he's going to get a full paint job. So I start with the white to make the hair on where his knee was, but is now his ankle, so I'm painting it white to match the feet wraps. I've moved on to brown, and I think it's a burnt umber brown, I don't remember. But now I'm covering all this hair with brown. It's going to get a few layers. Well, a couple. Well, this is just the first layer. It's quite the transformation. And I'm doing the brown or the fur first because it's easier to hold them by the jacket, and once I paint the jacket I can't hold them from there. I have to find somewhere else to hold them from. black now. I'm gonna give him his black nose, like in the cartoon, and then touch up on the belt. It's just regular black acrylic. Alright, he's starting to look pretty good. Now I'm trying to get, it's like a weird pinkish purple, but mostly red. But this first coat, it doesn't really matter because I'm gonna have to put a bunch. If I had known this figure was originally the Next Mutation when I started, I probably wouldn't have started or done it the same. I thought he was just a really bad version of the 2003 cartoon because that's the only gray Splinter that there really is. But yeah, even in the Next Mutation, he's not gray. He's got a little bit of like gray and white hair, but he's still mostly red and orange and brown. Yeah. But I still like it, what I did with it. So yeah, it's getting closer, but it's gonna take another layer to really cover all the blue spots so that nothing shows through, and also to get the color a little closer to the cartoon version color. But I'll tell you, it already looks more like the cartoon version than the toy of the cartoon version that came out and that we all had back in 1987 or 88 or 89, 91, 92, 93. Went through a couple, for sure. Is this the final coat now? I don't remember, because I was looking at the camera and didn't pay attention. Okay, I'm hitting him with one more layer, the whole body with and face and everywhere. It's the matte varnish again. Now the final step I'm gonna make, it's got what I thought was well, first I noticed some details where the black ran a little much, so I'm touching those up with a toothpick to get in all the little spots. Alright, so I'd already drawn little figure eights on each side of his jacket, but the first one I tried to paint with the gold paint marker, and it took me like 10 minutes to get any paint to come out at all, and then it was a nice thin stream. But another 10 minutes went by before I tried to use it on Splinter, and it just a bunch of gold paint came out, so I had to try and fix that. I got the one side, it's hard to see there, but then I fixed the other side. But what I realized after, when I was looking at the pictures, it's supposed to be like a triangle of spiral and not just a figure eight, so I did that wrong, but that's what he looks like now. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, remember, always keep your head up. Peace.